Bethany. Thank you so much for watching. This is part of a series of jewelry making for leather. And when you have leather, when you're repurposing it and you cut up all those leather bags that you don't like anymore, or leather coats, or any other kind of leather that you don't want, some of it ends up being really thick, and that lends itself to specific kind of jewelry making, and some of it ends up being thinner. So this video is for the thinner leather that either it's not pretty on the back side, and so you don't want to do like the petal fold like I did in one of my other videos, or you just prefer the look of not having it folded. Attached to this video I will have two different templates, and basically with the thinner leather it needs a clasp to attach to either the pendant, the chain on your necklace, or the earring finding. So it needs either a ribbon clasp or a cord clasp, and so I have two different templates. Each one will be specific to those clasps, and the idea is that the leather needs to be flat in the clasp, and so I've tapered the templates to fit right into those clasps so that it looks good, nice and clean and sharp, and it won't bend or look fussy or unprofessional. You'll just print these templates off, enlarge the templates if you want bigger earrings, and you can shrink the templates if you want smaller ones. Try to have some friends over and make this into a party. That way you can have a stash of gifts to give for the next year. You can all swap and get lots of different kinds of jewelry, and if everyone brings in one or two or three recycled leather pieces, you'll have different colors of leather, different thicknesses of leather, and you can have a party and get out of the house and have some fun with it. So for this project you will need chain for your necklaces, earring findings, jump rings if you're doing necklace pendants, cord clasps, and ribbon clasps. You can order them online or you can go to the craft stores. Every place has something different. Metallic Sharpies if you would like to do some decorating on the leather. A fine tip Sharpie to trace the templates. At least one set of pliers that is flat. A really nice sharp pair of scissors. Templates, and of course leather. If you want to give these as gifts, you can either make your own or purchase little cardstock cards to mount the earrings and necklaces on, and you'll want the little plastic backings to keep the earrings on if you're giving them as gifts. Leather jewelry is a fantastic gift. Below this video I will put a link to a leather jewelry gift bag that you can create. I'm going to show you how to mount the leather on both cord clasps and ribbon clasps. And you can make a pendant out of both, and you can make earrings out of both. So you'll just follow the same process. But right now I'm going to do a cord earring. So I've printed the template and picked the shape that I want. I'm going to flip, this is actually a suede, I'm going to flip it over and make sure that you trace your images like you would when you're making cookies. Don't just slap it right in the center of your leather and waste good leather on the sides. So put it out to the side. And if your shape is not symmetrical and you're making earrings, you need to flip it. That way they are mirror images of each other when you put them on. Craftsmanship is very important when you're making anything that's visual. So take your time and do it right. Use your very sharp scissors and cut the shapes out. Try to cut as close to the marker line as possible while cutting most of it off. If the back of the leather that you picked is really, really ugly and it bothers you, I don't really care because I don't ever look at the back of someone's earrings. But if you're making a pendant and it bothers you, if you're making earrings and it bothers you, just use some super glue and sandwich two pieces of the thin leather back to back. Put a book on top and let it dry. That way it looks the same on both sides. So the next thing you want to do is put a tiny bit of super glue. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you have cut the top of your leather the right width for the cord clasp that you have, because they're all going to be different widths, and right now if I put that right in there it won't lay flat because it's a little bit too wide. For some reason you cut these out and it's too narrow, then just do it again and give yourself a little extra space. So trim them both. Then you're going to put just a little bit of super glue in the belly of that cord clasp, and you'll see there's a little tooth that will help it to not pull out. Use scissors or something to get it pushed in there nice and tight, and let it sit for a little bit to dry. By doing this, you can make sure that the leather stays put while you're clasping it. Once you're ready, take your pliers. You can see the cord clasp is like a trifold. You'll just bend in 1/2. Make sure it pinches all the way down nice and tight. And then you'll bend in the other half. An earring pendant. Do the same thing for the other one. Then finally you will attach the little pendants to an earring finding. You need to open up the loop sideways, not apart. Otherwise it will be almost impossible to get it clasped back together. So make sure your pendant is facing forward when you put it on the earring, and do a really, really good job of putting that loop right back together so that your earring never falls off. So again, open the loop to the side, not apart, and you have your earrings. I'm going to do some feathering with these. Basically, to make something look like a feather, we're going to cut tiny slits and look images up on Pinterest, find something that you like and just copy it. And you can either leave it like that and just kind of let it fray, or if you want to be able to see the little featherings a little bit more on each one of your cuts, shave a little bit off one side and you get these little pieces that come out, but it'll make it a little bit easier to see the differences in the feather fluff. Make sure that the earrings, you don't do it on the same side. They need to be mirror images of each other. And for a pendant or earrings that's going to be on a ribbon clasp, you will need to make sure that your template fits the ribbon clasp. So I'm going to go ahead and change this beforehand, trim my template. Alright, so that's going to fit on there when I cut it out. Flip my leather over. I'm going to trace it. Use sharp scissors to cut it out. Then place your leather in the ribbon clasp. If there are teeth on it and you want the teeth facing forward, go ahead and do that. Sometimes there's only teeth on one side and you can pick. So just apply light pressure in the beginning, make sure it's in the right spot, and then you'll go ahead and clasp it really tight with flat pliers. And there we go. Finally, you will cut your chain to the length you want it for your necklace. You'll want it to go over your head, be large enough to go over your head if you're not going to put a clasp on there. Take your jump rings, open them to the side, not apart. attach one to your ribbon clasp and make sure it's closed perfect. And your last one, open it to the side. Then you are going to attach your pendant and put that jump ring through the ends of the chain. The smaller the chain, the harder that will be, and close it. And then you have your necklace. And for this one, I'm going to add a little bit of decoration, make it look like it was sort of dipped. If the sides of your leather are not pretty, then you can use a marker to color them. Just a side note, make sure that you keep the little plastic backings when you buy earrings, or you can go buy them at the craft store. That way your earrings don't fall off. With larger earrings, they tend to hit your shoulders and hit your hair and your clothes, and they can fall off. And you also kind of want to pinch them a little tighter. When they're manufactured, a lot of times they're way too open, so pinch those shut. So I hope this video was fun. I hope you had friends over and had a great time making jewelry together. I hope you give these as gifts. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can make more videos, find my other jewelry videos, and use up all that leather that you cut up, and share the sweetness of creativity.